Hi guys, I'm back for step 4 of the tinies and little size pattern. I'm working on Barnaby the Bear right now. So I have the sewn bear. You can see I sewed right on the line for that guy. I did a little video on that before and showed you how slow I actually go on it. And now I grabbed my favorite Karen K. Buckley, I believe. I don't know if these are micro serrated or not, but they're my favorite ones. So I'm going to show you, instead of like on a traditional pattern, because we sewed on the line instead of using it as a seam allowance, I just cut around the bear. I trace it on. I use, I think I showed you last video, but the friction, where am I? There I go, pens. And I just trace it on. That one you can iron off on the end. And then once I've sewn it, I come in and I cut, you know, approximately a 1/4 inch seam allowance around it. So I don't really worry about it too much. I don't want to cut too close to the line, obviously, because you don't want it to rip through. But again, that's part of why we had that really short stitch length. We have a 1.4 millimeter stitch length. So you have a nice tiny stitch that helps lock the fabric in so that the seam allowance doesn't matter quite as much. So I'm just doing a quick cut around here. And then I'll show you how I cut right up to the seam. And then I like to use a little bit of fray check or another product like that that will stop it from fraying right on some of the points where we cut right up to the seam. Okay, so extra fabric. Now, like in here, this is a pretty easy spot. I go, can you see that? Right up to the seam to help with turning. So it has a little cut in it. And so anywhere that's like that, I like to trim in. So in the ears, here, this ear, that ear. Don't cut through the seam, but to it. That one I only got the front layer. To the seam. Make sure you're getting both sides of the fabric. Mine's wanting to lift up on the other side. Up in here. You know, if you want to be really tricky, you could trim, you know, in here so that it helps the curve lay flat, but I don't actually normally do that. So up in here, I do 3 trims in here to the seam, but not through it, to and not through, to it, not through it. And okay, so now I'm going to show you, I'm going to set this down here and grab my fray check. I'm sure you guys are familiar with this stuff. And I like to keep a pin in the top of mine, even in the cap, with the cap on, because otherwise I feel like it locks up quite a bit. So, okay. So I'm just going to tap on here. You probably want to test your fabric first, but I just do a little drop on each of those points that I just trim to, just to double secure it. And then I do go ahead and look on the other side, and if it hasn't gone all the way through, I go ahead and do another drop on this side. So just make sure it doesn't stain. You might want to do a little test on your fabric before you start doing this. And then, yeah, I am going to put the pin back in my fray check and close that up. And I'm going to let this guy dry a little bit. And then we'll come back and turn him. I'll show you how I do that in a video. And then I'll be back again and we will stuff him. And then I'll be back again for closing and then the face. So I'm just going to step through the pattern for you so you can see how I do this. So that's it for this one. I'll see you again for turning in just a minute.